Hey, Hugo Bakker hier en ik heb net een gesprek, een interview met Nisandeh Neta gehad. En Nisandeh is vanaf 2008, 2009 is hij echt een van mijn belangrijkste teachers geweest. En hoewel ik hem de laatste 2 jaar eigenlijk wat minder volgde en minder op zijn seminars en zo geweest ben, en ik ook wat minder voelde dat hij nog mijn teacher was, moet ik zeggen dat dit gesprek, dit was echt, ja, echt heel gaaf. En ik voelde opnieuw van, ja, hij is echt een belangrijke teacher voor mij geweest. En nog steeds dus. En ik moedig je echt aan om het gesprek van begin tot het einde gewoon echt te volgen en aantekeningen te maken. Mocht je Nisandeh nog niet kennen, hij heeft ooit een boek geschreven over succes. Weet je, Nisandeh, toen ik hem leerde kennen, was het in mijn ogen iemand die een doel stelde en dat ook daadwerkelijk bereikte. En toen die op een gegeven moment de business bootcamps ging organiseren, zaten daar gewoon meer dan 1000 man in die zaal. Toen had ik echt zoiets van, ja, hier moet ik iets van kunnen leren. En ondanks dat ik de eerste keer gewoon weg ben gegaan, omdat ik het eigenlijk niet vond passen, ben ik teruggekomen en nog een keer teruggekomen en heb ik zijn verdiepingstraining gekocht. En heb ik meer en meer van hem geleerd. En op een gegeven moment bracht hij een boek uit met koplopers, waarin eigenlijk verhalen verteld werden van studenten van hem die successen bereikt hebben. En toen ik die mensen op het podium zag staan, toen had ik echt tranen in mijn ogen. Zo van, dat wil ik ook. Ik wil ook in dat boek staan, maar als uiting van dat ik ook succesvol ben. En wat denk je? Volgende editie, Hugo Bakker was de eerste die gekozen werd als koploper. Daar was ik op dat moment echt super trots op. En vandaar is eigenlijk mijn reis verder gegaan. Nou, Nisandeh die heeft vorig jaar een boek uitgebracht, The Enlightened Millionaire. Hij noemde het altijd conscious millionaires, dus bewuste miljonairs. En in het interview legt hij uit wat dat is. En dan hebben we het over money mindset. Omdat ik merk dat ik gewoon nog wat issues, wat dingetjes met geld heb. En je kijkt dit waarschijnlijk omdat je getriggerd was over geldmindset. Waarschijnlijk weet jij dat je ook op dat gebied kan groeien. Dus hoe kijk je naar geld? Nou, daar gaat dit interview over. Ik wens je heel veel plezier. En blijf kijken, blijf schrijven. Kom ook naar zijn event, zou ik zeggen. Dan ontmoeten wij elkaar opnieuw of voor het eerst. En doe dit, want hij vertelt in het interview ook dat hij na dit jaar geen trainingen meer gaat geven. Dus dit is eigenlijk gewoon de laatste manier, laatste kans om voor een heel weinig geld, gratis is het eigenlijk, Nisandeh's teaching te kunnen zien. Nou, nu snel naar het interview. Hoi.
Very good. Good morning, Hugo.
All right.
How are you?
Love to see you. The Enlightened Millionaire is the book last year. I just flipped it through and I thought, all right, I know Nisandeh, I know what's in there, but I didn't really read it. And today I grabbed it and I thought, I got to read every letter. I got to do every exercise. What for people who are watching? What is an enlightened millionaire?
Enlightened millionaire. Enlightened millionaire is a concept that I developed quite a few years ago, which is basically says that we have when we're developing ourselves financially, when we're developing our financial IQ, but also our financial means, we're actually going on a path, and the path starts from where I am today, which most of us are either what we call the poor money mentality or a middle class money mentality, and we need to start working on that in order to be able to see more abundance, more wealth, more money also in our lives. And the first step, the way that I see it, the first step is to financial freedom. Financial freedom is when you don't have to work anymore. Again, you work because you want to, because it's your passion, because it's your love, because you have something to contribute. And for most people, that will be the stage where if they will get there at one point in their lives, then that's financially, that's the best goal or the greatest goal. But I want to push people to go further than that. And thinking further than themselves, being financially free, that means that I don't have to worry anymore about money. I don't have to worry so much about getting money and income. It's kind of coming passively to me, but it's all about me or my family. But, there's a big world around us, and I think that we're part of it. And if we're fortunate enough to understand the principles of money, to understand what it means to become financially free, to understand what's the benefits of abundance and wealth and how to reach that, then it's part of our duty, responsibility, whatever you want to call it, to actually share that with the world. An enlightened millionaire is the principle when you're actually generating more money than what you need for yourself, what you need for your family, for you, let's say, like your unit, and what is left over, then you share it with the world in this way or another, any way that works for you. So you're working on the goal to, you're going to Kilimanjaro and collecting money for charity. I do that in different ways. People want to save the tuna fish or the rainforest, or creating a hospice. It doesn't really matter, but it means that if we have the abilities, the knowledge, the mindset to be able to generate more money than what we need for our financial freedom, we can give part of it to causes which are bigger than ourselves. And when you get into that position, that's what I call an enlightened millionaire.
Yeah. So is it mindset? Because I want to be a millionaire, but I don't know how to get there. And many people watching they want to be millionaire, but maybe not. Blueprint, mindset, what is it?
All right. So for me, you're having here a few things that are not necessarily connected. First of all, a millionaire, nobody has to become a millionaire. I don't see in a millionaire any value by itself. I wanted all my life to become a millionaire. Before I'm 30, I became a millionaire, self-made millionaire when I was 23. And, I realized that it's not what it was pumped to be, let's put it this way. Nothing really changed. I also lost everything, and I lost more than I became a millionaire on the other side of the equation. And I didn't find that interesting. I think that the goal to become financially free, which we talked just before, is a lot more interesting than becoming a millionaire. And you can become financially free with 2,000 euros a month, as long as you get it passively and your lifestyle costs are costing you less than 2,000. So it's not about the million. I became financially free about 15 years ago, so I never have to work again. About a year later, I became a millionaire again, because money grows much faster when you're financially free. And, we did a little money dance together, and my wife and me, for about 5 minutes. And after that, life didn't change a lot. And then you set yourself a goal. Okay, now I want to be a multimillionaire. Now I want to have that amount. I don't think that that's so important. Financially free is a goal. Financial freedom is a goal, and it's a goal that has a very clear number to it. It depends for every person. But when you don't have to work anymore again because your passive income is covering all your lifestyle costs, you're financially free, and I think that's the goal. So that was one question about being a millionaire. So if you want to be a millionaire, you can set as a goal, but I don't think that for most people it's really exciting, because it's about counting money. And counting money for most people, I'm not saying for everyone, but for most people that's not very exciting. Becoming free, for example, not to have money worries, for example, those are goals that most people can reach. Now, you're asking if money is a mindset. I don't think that money is a mindset. Like your relationship with your wife or husband is not a mindset. It's a relationship. Mindset is how we perceive money. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something that is delivering us freedom? Is it something that causes us worries? All those are mindset. The relationship that we have for money, love, hate, dependency, those are mindsets, absolutely. But it's like any other relationship. So if my purpose in a relationship is to experience love or a friendship or care or passion, then that's mindset. But the relationship itself is not a mindset. Yeah.
So how can you change the relationship with money from like a poor relationship to a healthy relationship? Maybe that's the key question.
Yeah, well, that's a very good question. So we're talking about three different. You talk about poor and rich, or poor and successful. I usually divide it into three different mindsets, or three different financial IQ. There's the poor, there's the middle class, which most people that probably you're talking to are belonging to that financial IQ group. And then there's the financial IQ of the rich, or of the wealthy, of the successful ones. And they're very, very different, and very, very different. It's easy to look at poor and rich because they are very opposites, so we can do that. But remember, there's also always somewhere in between, and we always somewhere moving along the line. So there's nobody, I don't know anybody that has a fully reached my financial IQ, including Richard Branson or Bill Gates or whatever. And I don't know anybody that has fully a poor mentality or poor financial IQ. We're somewhere in between, but we want to move towards the reach as much as possible. So you're asking what to do. I think that the most important thing is to increase our financial IQ, and we do that by education. Our mindset change rapidly when we're starting to learn that things that we believed in are not true necessarily. So I grew up with the belief, my parents gave me this belief, not by words, but by their doing, that you have to work hard for your money. So all my life I worked hard for my money. I made lots of money, but I worked really, really hard for it. And by teaching myself, by going through experiences, by seeing what works, what doesn't work, by talking to people, by getting teachers, mentors, whatever it is, I started to realize that maybe it's not true. Not everybody works hard for the money. So maybe this fact that I had in my mind that you have to work hard for your money is not a fact, it's just a belief. If it's a belief, I can change it. It's not something that is impossible to change. What I did is I actually changed it very, very little, because sometimes, to change it from, oh, you have to work hard for your money, to change it to, oh, you don't have to do anything for money, just sit and visualize. That's quite a jump. But I changed it that you have to work hard for your financial freedom, and instead of for money. And now I kept on working hard, but the working hard was paying itself again and again and again and again for the rest of my life. So I worked hard for a few years, but now I don't have to work for the rest of my life. So I didn't change the working hard. I like working hard. It's part of who I am. It doesn't have to be, but for me, that worked. But I changed the goal. It's not about making money. It's about creating the freedom, for example. So I think that the first thing is really educate yourself about money. Part of it is hang out with people that actually have money, creates money, are financially free. That's really, really important, because I know a lot of people that have a lot of money and make a lot of money, but they are not financially free. I have a good friend that is, I think he's making a year between $30 to $40 million a year, earning as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, 30 to 40 million. It's his own personal income, not the company, but his own personal income. But his expenses are about that same amount. So he's not financially free, still needs to work every year. And I see him, sometimes towards the end of the year, struggles to get new projects in millions, which most people could live on them for years. But he's not financially free because his lifestyle costs are so expensive. So if you hang out with the right people, with the people that embody those values that you want, then you learn a lot about that. And the rest is really about building this relationship, like with a partner. It's not something that you're only thinking about it and visualize. It's something that you actually do. And you're trying to earn money. You see what works, what doesn't work. You focus your goals on the right goals. So again, for me, it's always the freedom.
Yeah.
Always the freedom, less the money.
Apart from being financially free, what determines how much money is in your bank account?
Again, it starts with financial IQ. It starts with what you believe, what your mindset about money. First of all, you need to realize that money is important. I've taught I've taught financial freedom to tens of thousands of people. Tens of thousands. You were one of them. And for many people, they have this belief that money is not that important, or money is bad for you, or rich people are not good people, or they are greedy, or whatever it is. When we have those beliefs, then there's no chance that we will grow our bank account, because if I believe that rich people are bad in any way, shape, or form, then there's no way that I'm going to become rich. It's gonna sabotage myself. If I believe that money is not that important, why would money stick to me? I mean, imagine that you say, well, my husband or my wife, they are not that important. For how long they're going to stay, right? So this is the first thing. That's where it starts. Part of mindset is to realize that you deserve to have money. There's so many people that somehow, and I think in Holland that comes a lot with religion beliefs, maybe not even theirs, but of their parents and everything. And I don't deserve. I don't deserve. I mean, this is something that is very common in Dutch mentality. We're training kids, to be normal, so you're not deserved to have that huge success. So that's the first step. Then the next step, you're asking what determine your bank account, or the number in your bank account is your goal. What is your goal? And although my goal for the last few years, let's say for the last 15, 20, 17 years was to become financially free, there was still a number there. Okay, there was still a number there. At that time, 15 years ago, when we became financially free, we were a family, so we had one child, and our expenses were about 3,000 something, 3,000 euro a month. So that was a goal, making passive income 3,000 euros a year. And it took me 15 months, or it took us 15 months to generate that, but as soon as we did that, then we became financially free. You can set for yourself that you want to have in your bank account €1 million. Okay, that's the cash millionaire, for example. You can say that you want to have certain savings, you want to have certain investment. Whatever you're deciding as a goal, it needs to be clear, okay? Because that goal, that's what you're going for, and that will define your bank account. Then it's the strategies that you're using, and most of us never learn how to earn money, how to save money, how to invest money. We learn how to spend money. Okay, this we do very well. We are trained for that very, very well. If you open a television and a newspaper, or magazine, or you just drive the street and you see the billboards, we are trained all our life from age of 0 to spend money. If you will see kids today, they are totally into consumer mode. They go into the supermarket and they know exactly what they want. They will nag parents, to what movie they want to see, to what game they want to play, etc. Because they are trained for consumer, for spending. But we're not trained for saving, for investing, or for earning money. So the strategies are important. And then at the end, when you have the plan and you know what you need to do, then you need to execute it. And that's implementation. And again, I think that most people are very lazy in a sense of doing whatever it takes. And, when you're describing that somebody's asking you, how much do you charge for your services? And you're not having a clear picture for that, you don't have a clear strategy for that, you don't know what are you worth for that, then it's very, very hard to actually say, hey, that's what I want. And to say, if somebody says, no, I'm not willing to pay you that, then to say, well, maybe you're not my right client. So doing whatever it takes is really, really important when it comes to money, because it's such a scary and unfamiliar and we're not used to it.
Yeah, all right. I think most of my questions are answered. How do you spend your money? How do you...
Well, what we do with money is always divided into a few categories, and you're talking about spending, and it's not a good question to ask me because I'm not spending so much. I'm cheap. At least that's what my wife tells me.
Yeah,
so,
but you're very good at outsourcing. I mean, in that way, spending money.
No.
Maybe
so then let me make it very clear. That's what I wanted to say. There are different ways of using our money.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I would do with my money is always invest it in any way, shape, or form. Anything that I see as investment. Investment takes what you have and make it bigger. Okay, that's what investing means. So if I have 10 euros and I invest that and I get at the end 12 euros, then I grew my money. Then there's the part which is about saving money. So saving money is just making sure that the money will continue for a while. So if I have 10 euros and I find a good way to save it, then in 10 years I will still have that money. Then I have the way of spending money, which this is basically a way to exchange money for value. So I'm giving 10 euros and I'm getting something instead of that, or in return for that, some kind of value. And then there's a way to waste money, which this is I'm giving 10 euros away, but I'm getting nothing in return, basically. Okay, so those are the 4 ways. Well, those are the main 4 ways. There's one more way, which is giving, or philanthropy, which this is you give the 10 euros and what you're getting is doing something good. Okay. Now, what you're calling spending, and you're connecting that to risk, to outsource. In my mindset, that's totally wrong. I will never spend money on outsourcing. Spend money means you can do that. It's not that you can't do that. You can say, okay, I'm giving somebody a certain amount, and they create for me a website. So that's spending money. Okay, I got value for my money. But when I'm talking about outsourcing, which I don't call it outsourcing, I call it leverage. Okay, is using what you have in order to create more. So that's a way to invest. Then I'm using other people's time and other people's expertise, right? So when you talk about outsourcing, you either let somebody, you exchange your money for their time, or you exchange your money for their expertise. I want to make sure that I'm making more as a result of that. If not today, then tomorrow. That's investing. So I never see it as spending. Every time you don't do that, you don't outsource something, and I can tell you in a moment what you should outsource, because not everything you should outsource, but you should outsource some things. But if you should outsource something, for example, and you don't do that, you're actually not, it's not that you're saving money, you're just wasted money. Because you wasted your time, you wasted your opportunity, you wasted your chances to make money in a different way. For example, let's say that in my case, I don't know in your case, but in my case, I don't like to do my bookkeeping and I'm not good at it. It's not my expertise, okay? But when I was poor and I didn't have the money, I did my own bookkeeping. What's happened as a result of that is that it took me a lot longer than it would take a professional, and I made a lot more mistakes because I didn't know what I'm doing, and I lost a lot of opportunities in two sides. One is I didn't know enough the law, so I didn't know, I can, put that in this column and then, earn some money on that or save some money in taxes. But I also, because I spent hours and hours on doing bookkeeping, I couldn't spend the same hours on growing my business, on marketing, sales, developing products, etc. So it was a loss in any way, shape or form. The moment I started understanding that, I said, okay, I will find the 15 euros, 20 euros, 30 euros an hour that I need to pay for a bookkeeper, and I'll pay him because right now I save time for myself, which I can convert into money by using that time in the right way. So, and that's what we always need to consider. It doesn't matter if you don't have the money right now by cash. First of all, find a way to get that money. It's always an investment. Okay, it's always an investment. It's always will be good if you choose the right people, or try to get the people to work for you or to do for you the job without money today. I'm happily, making arrangement with people that I don't pay them today, but I will pay them in the future a lot more, for example, especially in the times that I didn't have that much money. To make it short and not to go into a whole course about that, there are only three things that you should do yourself in your business. Only three things. And if you do anything else, you're wasting your money. You're not just saving your money, you're wasting your money.
I'm listening.
The three things are the three activities that brings you more value into your business. For every entrepreneur is different. Every entrepreneur is different. But you need to figure out what are the three things, and even if it takes you a week to just think with this question, what are the three things that brings the most value into my business? And value at the end, when it comes to business, is the things that makes you money. Okay, it's not what makes you happy. It's not what makes your employees happy. It's what makes the business money. What is the most profitable activities? So for me, in my case, in the business for the last, I don't know how many years, but many years, one was developing content. Okay, I was the best person in my business to develop content. So that was my job, and I would not so outsource it. The second one was to deliver that content. If delivering it in the form of a course, of a seminar, of a mentoring or a book, it doesn't matter, but delivering it, I was the best in that, in my business. Okay, I'm not saying best in the world, but in my business, I was the best in that. And the third action was actually to sell, and mainly to sell from stage. So if I would stand on stage and you saw how it works, then I tell people, hey, did you like this? You're going to love this. Go buy it. And those were the three activities that I focused. Now, in the years before, I was doing the websites, I was doing the blogging, I was moderating the blog, making sure the comments would be the Facebook and social media, etc. I stopped doing everything except those three activities and found people to do that. Sometimes they do that as good as me. Sometimes they don't do that as good as me. My job is always to find the people that will do that better than me, because that's not where it's not my strong point, and it's not where I'm delivering the most value. And I will pay whatever it takes to get that. It will always be investment.
Yeah.
And again, you can find people to work for you for free. You can find people to work for you for less. You can, if you have a big vision and you can offer them something in the future, you'll find great people, even if you can't afford them right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Thanks very much. So helpful. All my questions are answered, I think, at this moment. Which question have I forgotten, do you think, about money mindset?
I think that one of the things that we do often, I'm going to come back to a question that you asked me before, and you didn't wait for an answer. And I think that was relevant, because you asked me on what do I spend my money.
Okay, yeah.
And then you moved it into outsourcing, and that's business, which is very good, but it's in business. But actually, today I found out that the more money I earn, the less I spend. I'm talking to you right now from Tenerife, where I live for the last few years. Cost of living here is a lot less than in mainland Europe. That was a choice. That was a conscious choice. Let's find a place where the quality of life is very high, but the cost of living is low. For example, I'm living in a house that is mine. I don't pay on it anything, no mortgage, no loans or anything. And we live off the grid, so we generate our own electricity. It doesn't cost us. We have our own water. It doesn't cost us. We don't have municipality taxes because we don't get municipality services. Okay, we're living to the end of the world to the left. So our lifestyle cost became very, very, very small compared to what we had before, while our quality of life is skyrocketed. So I don't I don't spend so much money. I choose what to spend my money on, and even then I'm not taking that from my savings. But I will, if there's a project that I want, there's a car that I want to buy, or there's something that I want to make an extension to the house or to the farm that we have here, or I want to build 4 schools in Laos, then I will create a project or a campaign or a product and make the money for that. I'm not going to use what I already earned in the past. So this is just a mindset. But the question comes, and it's mostly in the last few years comes to me, is that what do we really need money for? And we're very, very hooked on the fact that we need money to live, or we need money to survive. And today, the more I'm questioning it, the more I'm wondering if it's true. Because what would happen, just think about it, I'm going to leave you with that question, but think about it. What would happen if you could have access to the things that today you pay money for? Food, shelter, clothes, car, boat, whatever it is. Okay? Today you're paying money for that. And we were trained to pay money for that. But what if you could have access to those without having to pay? So maybe it won't be your house, but you can live in a house without paying for it. Maybe it won't be your car, but you can drive a car whenever you need. Would we really then need to focus so much about money? And for me, that was an interesting question, especially where I'm living right now and the life that I'm trying to create right now, because I'm creating a social structure around me that actually lowers the need for money tremendously. So if we have a small community and there's cars there from somebody, but it's not my car, but I can drive it whenever I want, then I don't need the money for that. And we can exchange. And this is something that today I'm much more focused on, is instead of focusing on money, is focusing on wealth and abundance. This is access to the things that we want to have in our life without necessarily owning them, without necessarily paying money for them. It's part of the new program that I'm giving. We're calling it Happy, Healthy, Wealthy, Wise. And in the wealth part, this is something that I'm exploring it. It's not something that I have it totally figured out, but I'm exploring it in my life and I'm sharing it with people in order to get them to think about it, because we're too attached to money while we should be attached to what money gives us. And what money creates for us. And because that's the goal at the end. Most people are not into, let me count how much money I have in the bank. Some people do, but most people don't. But they do want the house, they do want the car, they do want to travel the world, they want what money can give them. But just as a question, it's something interesting. Do you really need the money for that? Or can you live on less money and have better quality of life, have access to abundance? And I think that's absolutely a possibility.
Yeah, great. You're doing the design your life stuff now. What does your day look like these days?
Well, the point you're talking about living by design. Living by design is a whole concept that you're not allowing life to just come. Oh, there's a phone call I need to respond to. Oh, there's a meeting that I'm supposed to participate. Oh, there's an external goal. It's basically taking a look at your life from a point of a longer view. So saying, okay, it starts with when do I want to die? So I chose for myself that I want to die in quite a few years from now. And then I'm starting to say, okay, what do I want to reach in those years and how do I plan it in my life right now? And it goes down to the small minute details of my day. So starting the day, for example, just to share a few changes. I mean, I used to wake up every morning with the alarm clock. So the alarm clock went whenever I set it, and now it's time to start the day. I don't have an alarm clock for 2 years now. I'm sleeping with a big window to the south, and when the sun is rising, at one point it just wakes me up. Yeah. So right now it's around 7:15 in the morning. In the winter it's a little bit later, which is perfect because in the winter you start the day later, for example. I'm starting the day with meditation and or with running up the mountains. We live in the mountains, so I'm going running barefoot in the
barefoot.
Yeah, that's my joy and passion right now in the last 6 months, I think. Then it's time for a relaxed, healthy breakfast. I don't work anymore, so not on a daily life. Usually I have about half a day that I'm dedicating to the companies that I'm running and just giving the team the attention that they need, half a day a week. And when I'm still teaching, which I'm going to do for the last year this year, but when I'm still teaching, and I'm flying to deliver a training or 2 or 3 in a week, and then I do that once every 2 months, and I'm coming back. The rest of the day I'm either writing my new book, creating some new stuff, working in the garden, meeting friends, hiking a lot, and spending time with my wife. So it's life that I created after many years of working hard for that. But the funny thing is that when I'm looking at it today, I probably could have arrived to this life 10 or 15 years ago without a lot of the other things that I achieved. And it's easy to say, oh, now you have the money and the financial freedom and everything, so you can do that. But actually, if I would know what I know today, 15 years ago, I probably could have at least start living that. I mean, I don't know if everything, because we're living really at the end of the world to the left, and my daughter, when she was young, wouldn't be interested in that. So that also part of the things that kept us, in the world.
Yeah.
But to live the lifestyle I'm living today, which is my dream lifestyle, right now I cannot imagine something better than that. I could have done that 15 years ago if I would know then what I know today, and if I would do the right things. And this is something that I want to leave you with this thought. What is the lifestyle that you would desire? The real lifestyle that you desire? Because sometimes we're saying, oh, I want to travel the world every month. I want to go in another country, and I want to, to have the boat next to the house so I can go in the canal or whatever it is. But if you think what is really important, you'll find out that a lot of it doesn't require as much time, effort, money, and other resources as you think. And what I'm trying to teach in the Living by Design is a concept that is called prototyping. When you're becoming very, very clear about the life that you want to live, you start prototyping, like designers are doing, when they have an idea for a car or a chair or whatever, they start creating a small model of it and start to see if it works and how it works and if it closes the right way, etc. So prototyping means you take part of this lifestyle that you want to do and you start living it today. So when we wanted to start eating healthy, for example, and at that time we were so busy that we were just coming home late and we just shove something from the freezer into the oven. We just decided, no, 3 days a week, just 3 evenings a week, we are actually going to cook healthy food together. And at the beginning it was a struggle because we didn't find the time and we were not used to, but at one point it became such a joy and such a pleasure. So we just made it a part of our life. And today this is how we live every day. Prototyping means that we realize that our ideal lifestyle would be to live on an island, in nature, on the mountains, but next to the sea. But, we lived in Amsterdam. So what do? So we just took every single vacation that we had whenever we had the chance and we went to another island. We just went to another island, lived with the locals, usually in an apartment, only not in a hotel. We would buy stuff in the supermarket. We would talk to the local. We would ask how much is the rent and how much is the electricity bill, etc. And we would start feeling how it is to feel every time for 2 weeks, how it feels to live on an island. So when we found finally our island, it was an easy transition. I hope I make myself clear, but
yes,
you think of the end of your life, you look at the ideal lifestyle, really what you want, and then you start prototyping it. And I wish I would do, no, I don't want to say I wish because I'm not regretting, but I could have created what I created today in the last few years, 15 years ago, easily, if I would know that.
Yeah, that's a good thing to hear because many of the people who are watching this, they can decide now to live their dream life and let go of all the things that they have to do. You're saying I'm stopped teaching? Is that part of your prototype and there's no teaching room for teaching anymore?
It's not part of the prototyping. That's part of my ideal life.
Yeah.
When I'm looking at my ideal life is this part of my life of being the teacher, trainer, mentor, coach, whatever you want to call it. I did it for the last 22 years. I loved every second of it. I still enjoy that. I still find it a fantastic vocation or profession or calling. But already last year, already for a few years, I'm realizing that I'm going in somewhere else. So last year I stopped with every single business training I was giving. That's where we made our living, our fortune, if you want, or everything. I basically took a company that was generating millions of euros a year, just closed it at the end of the year. Took every single course that I ever gave, including those courses that you paid for them thousands of euros. They are all available online now for peanuts, for basically for 20 euros a month. Everything is I made just everything available to the world in a very smart system. I don't do anything with that. So that's a project that I have a company here in Tenerife that is taking care of that, and I'm just, basically guiding a little bit if they need me. I decided to give myself one more year this year, 2017, to teach material that is new in my life. This living by design. It's not new for me, but I never taught it before. Mm-hmm. And it's showing people how to create a life which is a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise life. But I'm not doing it like I did it in the past, which I was giving training after training after training after training, the same things. I'm giving everything only one time. So every piece of material is being given one time this year. And that's it. December this year, I'm not going to teach anymore. Not online, not offline. I'm going to kind of disappear from the face of the earth, focus on my own process, my spiritual growth, my lifestyle, the way I see it right now. And yeah, sharing I'm happy to share the rest, the rest of the year. I'm happy to share everything that I am, everything that I created, everything that I know today. And then it's time to say farewell and goodbye and go somewhere else.
And to never come back or leave it open?
I will never say never, who knows what will be. Right now the plan is, I don't see myself coming back. There's so much more waiting ahead, but what will come, I don't know. Probably if it will come in a very, very different way, very different place. I will be in a different place, different person. But yeah, for now, this is goodbye.
Wow. Yeah. When is the next time we can see you in Holland?
Yeah, I'm in Holland in the end of June. Actually, the 28th of June, we have the last, let's put it, free event ever. It's called Living by Design. It's not really free. I mean, we are having tickets for 22 euros and 47 euros, but you're getting my books and including books that you have.
It's free.
And some other stuff. So, and the idea is just to share with people the how to live their life by design. So I'm teaching everything that I do in order to create my life by design. And this will be the only time that I'm sharing that. And then the next times will be actually in September, in December, I'm doing very big events with Roy Martina, which many people in Holland are doing. We decided together to make a farewell tour and make it just a splash and make sure that everybody that wants to live a happy, healthy, wealthy, wise life knows exactly how we are doing it. And so that's very exciting. So that's the September and December, and that's it. So those are the three opportunities to meet before we say goodbye.
We should all be there. Very, very pleased with this conversation. I'm gonna study it. I mean, play it over and over again and just work on my money mindset, because I feel that I need to do that in order to also help many more people reaching their goals.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
Very good.
See you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.